Welcome back, noble heroes. We return back to the situation at the manor house after the ball, where our characters are with Queen Estrid in a small study chamber, planning, attempting to figure out what these three dragons are up to. Three sons and a daughter of, or two sons and a daughter of flame, are near Bridgewalk, hiding in a group of trees at the moment. But as to why they are here, the characters currently don't know. It is dark outside, nearing midnight at this point. And Estrid is standing like a statue, seemingly unaffected by nerves. Nebel, however, has his toe tapping, and it is clearly annoying Hero, who keeps looking down at it. And those of you who are smaller are having to stand on your tiptoes to see up at the illusion. And because you're not seeing it from the right angle, the illusion is not easy to read. However, you all stand in the room wondering over this long wait from the dragons and what exactly they are doing. And we continue with our characters. But first, I would go ahead and ask you, noble heroes, to please give us a like and a subscribe if you would. And do try this at home. Here we go. So, you all are in the room. If you all don't have anything to say or do, particularly at that moment, go ahead and just say pass, and we'll move forward a half hour.
Pass. Pass.
Isaac asked June if she is at all shocked to see that this dragon is now a undead dragon.
I wouldn't define it as shocked, but I am surprised.
So it's news to you.
It is news, correct? That's a new thing. We all thought she died for realsies. She goes, yes.
I see.
The last time that dragon flew that I knew of was a great long time ago.
Zarafan is going to say, does seem to suggest that Kazor got a favor from Zosar.
Okay, June could not control her facial expression. You see a look of absolute hatred flash across her face for a very quick, very brief moment. But yeah,
Isaac is like leaning back an inch after that happens.
yeah, there's just a flare of hatred that just skims across her face at the word Zosar.
You say Zosar, okay. Isaac would know who Zosar is, right?
Everybody knows who Zosar is.
Okay, I figured it's one of those.
Dragon, right?
She's the dragon of death. She's not an undead.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks like a giant dragon skeleton in her most basic form.
Terrifying.
Oh, well, I guess if we're all just sitting around deliberating, Isaac will take his staff and he kind of taps it twice on the floor, and then you're going to see the gourds. This illusion drops, and you just see three skulls sitting on top of his staff.
Drunk. The word echoes through the room as you see the skulls of a tiefling, what appears to be a sort of thick dwarven skull, and a light-boned elven skull.
Zarafan's expression when that happens.
Zarafan's eyes are going to flick over towards the staff, and you will see him wear a very neutral face as he looks towards it. The skulls are going to sort of rattle right and then left, and you're going to hear whispered, Isaac, Morganth says, we are in others' presences.
As we all just kind of watch him talk to you.
Isaac kind of like, after he whispers that to him, he kind of like rattles the staff a little bit to like knock him around. And it's like, Vlash, look at this. And he's going to walk over to the crystal ball and kind of put the staff in line of sight of what's in the crystal ball.
All right. Vlash is going to look down. It appears to be three dragons, he says.
Thank you, Vlash. I can tell that much.
Rhymes.
He says, perhaps you should turn Asher to look.
Okay. Isaac like rotates the staff 30 degrees.
All right. You're going to see the tiefling staff, of which everybody is now looking at you. You will see Queen Estrid has sort of looked over, and she has a kind of vaguely concerned look. Asher is going to look and say, "It is Kelstraz, the hunter. She is a dragon with impressive senses."
What would drive a dragon of her magnitude to come to a place like Bridgewalk now?
"Oh, well, that is easy," Morganth says. "Kazor's order."
She was doing so upon the order of Kazor.
Is that your second question? It's a pretty weak question.
Now he's musing to himself.
All right. The three of them are going to look over towards you, asking if you want that to be your second question.
Isaac goes, no, when he like rattles the staff again. All right.
Hero's going to look over at June. What in the pits is happening?
So we know that Kazor is involved somehow.
She just holds up her finger.
There's not like a time limit to me asking these questions, right? So then
No.
Isaac's going to go back to musing to himself, but he's not going to immediately like hit them with all three questions in a row. So
While you're musing, she turns to him and says, "That is the staff of Alton Madsong, and I assume those are the skulls of his 3 advisors."
The staff of who?
A very, very old individual who was a hero who was corrupted by them.
Comforting.
Oh. Nebel is going to like... Whew. You will see Estrid look down at the staff. Ask why they are waiting.
why are they just sitting there in that clearing, waiting to approach the city? What are they waiting for?
The skulls are going to kind of like rattle around, and then Morganth is going to ask, "Who are you asking?"
Asher.
Asher is going to turn and not to answer the question towards you, and instead asks Estrid. He says, "Your gargoyle defense system beneath the city relies on ley lines. Put the ley lines on the map," he says. You're going to suddenly see the mage sort of like, and then he sort of begins to draw.
I know them, right?
Yes.
She goes, they all lay out perfectly.
You see the western ley line, the integral ley line that connects into a number of weaving fabrics that rove through the city. The dragons are directly on top of it.
Ah, things begin to reveal themselves.
They're cutting off the system's gargoyle defenses, Estrid says.
Is it possible to reroute them?
No, you cannot. The ley lines were formed back when there was significantly more mages in every city. It requires more than a single person could possibly do. And you need a lot of time, like months.
Is
He
it possible
says-
to activate them early?
No, you cannot. Not only that, but the system isn't like finely tuned, so they don't usually turn them on all the time. The gargoyles were back in like the early age of magic, like right after the age of civilization.
June says, "Where's Phelan?"
I sent out messengers in order to go get them, she says. They've been delivered messages too, and I can only assume that they're on their way.
She has
Yeah.
lots of experience with dragons.
Yeah, Roland's literally just been stretching this whole time. Just waiting,
Getting ready.
getting ready.
Given the level of threat present in that clearing, I can't imagine it would take them too long to dig far enough down to achieve their goal. Heck, they may almost be done by now.
Then we need to get them moved. Or at least distracted, right?
We need to pull them away from that objective.
Look, Zarfan says, as the wizard is going to update, they're headed south. Well, specifically, they're headed southwest, towards the south end of Bridgewalk.
Or perhaps we're too late.
Are there multiple points?
4 points.
Perhaps we need to wait for them at the next point.
Estrid's going to say, channel an extra flow of magic. Hold it in a reservoir beneath the city. We need at least a few shots.
So are you indicating that there are 4 main ley lines coming into the city? Okay, not just that one.
Right.
Okay.
We should probably work to separate them.
You could
Isaac's-
certainly draw one up.
Might be a wise idea to challenge one to a duel.
Isaac's going
I'm
to use
thinking-
some mental math about how long did it take them to sit at that clearing before they moved away.
About 20 minutes.
Oh.
They are moving fast.
Did they stop anywhere first?
Estrid's going to say, moment. Yes. Thank you. Head back to the fortress. They've unburied the ley line. There's a pile of dirt in the trees where they sat, she says. It appears as though the largest of them is the one that's digging. It's likely she can smell the magic, Zarfan says. He's going to point out a line of ley lines. These gargoyles are all down now, he says. And the wizard is going to, turn off that side of the map.
Then we need to get out there.
They're preparing the city for assault, Asher says. Zarfan says, these are new tactics. Roland, do you see anything here?
Can I roll to see what I see?
Sure. What do you want to roll, knowledge-wise?
Would I was gonna say? I mean, I don't know. Like, would perception be better, or
Perception is just
more-
going to allow you to see details, but the map is pretty well laid out in front of you.
Is it intelligence?
It could be intelligence or wisdom or history.
Insight?
Insight.
I guess I'll roll insight.
When in doubt, insight.
Go ahead and gain advantage to this roll.
Much.
I rolled a 17 and I rolled a 19.
Nice.
Damn, sick.
20.
20. This is the earliest. They're using early pre-game tactics. They're cutting off supply lines.
So so if they're, I'm trying to remember, so Bridgewalk is, the coast is on the east
It's right
of
there.
Bridgewalk. So were they up north when they were digging the thing out? Where were they when they were starting?
So it was suggested that they could have potentially already been up north, hidden before
Hidden.
they revealed themselves and
And
went
then
to
come
the
down to the point where they
went to
dug
the
out
west.
the ley line,
on the west.
and then
And now they're going south.
going south.
So it's possible the north has already been cut off?
It's possible, yes.
Is there a way to check that?
At Euphemia's words, Estrid is going to say, go into the forest, send several scouts. We need to find if they've undug the ley line. Send a mage with them, she says.
They could have destroyed the roads to the north too. They could be trying to trap us here.
With a 20, the next step would be to disorient. So you are looking at some kind of perhaps guerrilla tactics, or a hit and run, or even potentially some kind of pre-game like spell.
I would think everybody needs to get in cover and prepare to be there for a while. They're going to try to break people, I think.
So you want us to essentially hide and distract.
Until we can separate them.
My
Take
queen,
them out one by one.
the only building that will not burn is the fortress, Nebel says. We must get you there, he says. I will remain here for a few moments longer, she says.
Is it at all possible that they have more forces lying in wait for after they're done with whatever preparations they're doing?
An invasion force, you mean?
Yes. What is our Drake count? She says. We have lost nearly an eighth of the pack, Nebel says, during Pitt's explosion. And many of our Drake guards are injured, being healed at the hospital.
I have a good question. When was the last time that Kazor was seen? Like, where was it?
The
Wait.
forest, Ignis's arm,
And that was about a month ago?
is a little less than... No, it was about a month, yeah.
Okay.
June, what interest would Kazor have in attacking Bridgewalk?
Depends if Kazor is acting alone. He usually would. He doesn't ally well.
Would Roland...
Last we saw him was in Ignis's arm fighting Krator. A month passed, remember?
The door opens. Ma'am, a messenger named Posix wanted to give a letter. I stopped him downstairs.
This isn't Roland asking, just wondering if Roland would know. Is most of the continent under Krator's?
The middle of the continent.
The middle of it?
Two forests.
Is Bridgewalk technically any dragon's territory?
No.
It's just...
None of the cities were made in the dragon's territories.
Gotcha.
Kazor only has the Dragon Fang Mountains near Selenox.
Gotcha.
That's his current home. But it's not his territory.
Gotcha. It's where he's allowed to live.
It's where they've rustled him into.
June looks at the letter, clenches her jaw, and then folds it and just puts it in her pocket.
Everything okay?
Did anything,
Well, it's not. Nothing's okay.
She
Did you
goes,
say that?
Yeah.
is there anything we need to be concerned about?
it's irrelevant to the situation. I'll
Okay.
talk to you about it afterwards.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so what's the plan? We can't just sit here and goggle at a map. We need to get out there. You're ready to fight.
Waiting.
Well, no, he can't fight yet. He needs his armor.
Estrid's going to say, even if you were to head over in that direction right now, you wouldn't reach there by the time that they're done if it only takes 20 minutes.
Then we need to go to the next point.
That's
And
in
it
the middle of
takes-
the ocean.
I do have a
says.
ship.
Not the best of plans.
I don't really fancy the idea of having my ship burned by a dragon.
If we were able to form a blockade with many ships, but most of our ships have been absconded with from the pirates, Estrid says.
How long does it take you to put on your armor again?
I'm sorry.
Thinking back to like session 2.
Yes, I remember that now.
That's why he's stressed out right now.
Get it to me faster. I need to start.
I have 3 just hanging out here, but thank you. I will give that back to you and know that I have it.
Yeah.
Take your inspiration and get out.
Son of a bitch.
Speaking of, here, let me just give you these so that you'll have more. So I'm not just hoarding all of the inspiration.
Alright. So, do you guys pass or are you headed somewhere?
We can't really do anything until we get his armor.
I mean, you guys can do something.
She
I
would
can
want to
catch up.
strategize on what kind of trap they could lay. If we have advanced notice, why would we not use that to plan out some sort of strategy?
Isaac wants to talk about motives, but then we also need to talk about tactics, which is probably more important.
As you say, I mean,
Because we know what path they're going.
Roland's tactic right now is to peel off the middle one.
If you guys pass, you can roll.
Is there a way to lure them not to the middle of the
Peel
ocean
off the
first?
middle one. Peel off the big one.
If
We'll
they're
take
going
the
after the ley
medium small
lines,
one.
What?
if they're going after
The middle
ley
one's the
lines,
one that
then
has
no.
a gripe
Isn't there
with
another
me.
one?
There are
And I
four,
know I can take them
Uh-huh.
if
all.
they haven't already destroyed the north and the west one. And they're literally at the south one now.
Alright.
The other one's in the ocean on the canyon side, the open mouth.
Have you ever fought anything 6 stories tall?
No.
Okay. Do you want to?
You have
Wait, was the last dragon?
Shadow Dragon.
Oh,
moving.
but that was with Harper.
That was with Harper.
You heard June say
Never
it's
alone.
not pleasant.
Never alone. Because how big was the last dragon that I beat? Was he about the same size as this one?
Yeah, he was.
You know
That's
what
the
I'm
thing is, I
talking
know I
about,
can
my
do this
biggest
one
thing
alone.
I've bought. How big was that? About how many of the ancient dragons?
Like 3.
Okay. Should check.
I'm glad you feel confident in downing a dragon, because Yuffie doesn't want to take that.
Isaac wouldn't ask this, but I would want to be like, June, can you turn one of us 6 stories tall? And then we have like a,
She would then say, "You're not powerful enough."
oh, can you turn Roland 6 stories tall?
He's also not
Story
powerful
tall
enough.
Roland. This is going into like Gundam territory.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and
That's why Isaac would not ask that. 'Cause he already knows the answer is no.
All right, so
I
What do
can
you guys
make
do?
you a giant ape. Do you want to be a giant ape? I can do that for
I'm just
you.
waiting for armor.
all right, need a course of action.
Okay, we know we can't cut them off at the one they're currently going to because it would take us too long to get there. The third one is in the middle of the ocean. And that's,
The third or fourth one.
both of them are in the ocean?
It could be the last one that they need.
Is it possible for them to simply scry out the northern ley line?
So the core wizard isn't that high of level. He doesn't have so many scryings. And she's not with all her wizards right now.
How are they going to dig up and destroy a ley line that's beneath the ocean?
That's my question as well.
Undead don't need to breathe. Jonathan answers.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
True.
So if we could distract her en route.
That's level 5, isn't it? Stupid
She
scrying.
says, we could plan for a Drake Guard attack en route there, but all 3 dragons in the air, they'll have no backup.
If, that damned armor. If we all left now, would we be able to catch them before they got to point number 3?
Well, it depends on which point number 3 is.
The ocean?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay. I think our best bet is to wait for Roland's armor to arrive. We head out and we hopefully catch them before they get to point number 4.
Wait. Estrid is at that moment going to receive that the northern ley line has already been dug up. So they've already got 2 and they're headed towards the third. The ocean one will be the last.
You mean they're at the third? Just to clarify. Okay. I don't really think an aerial battle with 3 dragons is going to go well for any of us, but what choice do we have?
Can they be repaired?
They can in time, yes.
How long?
A couple days.
How hard would it be?
You mean how many wish points it would take?
Kind of going there, yes.
Yeah.
I was debating whether or not I wanted to. I have other things I would like to use them on, so if I don't have to, I really don't want to.
Like 10 wish points per ley line.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. That's too pricey. It's too rich for my blood.
Can you just banish the big one?
You could try.
Probably.
We'd probably
but-
save against it.
Yeah.
Zarfin is going to turn and say, dragons have a gland within their body. It contains sort of a neutral energy, magic that they build up over time. He says, dragons are able to instinctually spend that magic to counter spells as any wizard would.
Makes the older ones very annoying to deal with.
Euphemia pulls on her glove. So what could I take from them that would be easiest?
Gotta get close enough, hon.
I know, and I don't really like the idea of being that close to a dragon, but
But you like the idea of me being that close to a dragon.
you've already killed a dragon.
We could probably get you that close without them even noticing. With that big one, we could probably drop you on her head and she wouldn't even feel you.
Not with the hunter. She would
Oh,
smell
yes. Her senses. Dang it.
But I am small enough otherwise for.
Can she smell into the shadow realm?
it. Yes.
Okay, so that's unfortunate. Oh yeah, because sorry, I forgot about that. Good.
All right.
Damn it!
Since you guys have spent quite a while on
Sorry.
the planning, I'm going to pass for you at this point.
Okay.
So several things will happen during the pass. One, your gear arrives.
Hey.
Two, it begins to get warm.
I don't notice it. Anyway.
What do you mean by warm?
You
Like-
begin to sweat.
Yeah, I don't notice it.
Like just
Why
the
would you
room we're
not
in,
notice?
or in general?
I don't feel that.
You don't feel that temperature
You're only in
changes?
this room,
No,
so
not very much.
I mean, unless you leave.
Euphemia would probably
notice.
say,
You've
"Why
never
is
seen
it
it.
He'd probably
so
be
hot
getting
in
changed
here?"
outside the room. Is
Open
it?
up a window.
Is it still
Estrid
warm
says.
outside the room? Because he'd be getting changed in a different room probably.
So you will notice if you are in a separate room, looking out a window, that it has begun. The cloud cover has begun to build. It has become quite humid, and it has begun to rain.
The weather's shifting outside. It's gotten very hot and humid out.
Correct. Unseasonably so.
She's gonna turn to Annalise and say, "Find out where Kazor is. Use your mirror."
I was trying to think of how she would go about it. She nods.
Can Euphemia has a change of clothes just out of game? Because she's still dressed up with that. And
With his stuff, they would have brought
Thank
anyone who wanted to change clothes.
She would specifically say, "Find out anything you know."
Additionally, just as Roland arrives back fully dressed in his plate mail, Faline and Red are both going to enter the chamber. What's going on? Faline says. I hear there are dragons.
Points at the
Crystal ball.
dossiers on the table and does a brief explanation of everything that's going on.
Right.
She's very succinct. Seems like June's very used to giving briefings.
Isaac, do you ask any more questions of the staff?
I'll ask Asher again. Who or what would be capable of changing the weather like this?
The most ancient of dragons can sometimes cast spells.
Oh, I think that answers my question. Be gone with you, annoying skulls. And he'll say the keyword and they will turn back to gourds.
Brunk.
so you've been carrying those skulls around with you this whole time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Isaac, with the equipment, did they bring any of your constructs with them?
I would have asked for Phalor, Oakenbolter, and the winged thrall.
Alright, they arrive.
Okay.
The guards are like, ew, 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 and the little devil baby as they bring the winged thrall into the room.
June taps her shoulder and tribute just goes gray.
All right.
While I'm thinking about it.
With the collected intelligence that Estrid is receiving, she says there is not a good location with which to engage the dragons without mass casualties, and there is no guarantee that we would wound them in a substantial way in the flight. We need to lure them to land somewhere in the city or outside of it, she says.
Well, we already know how to lure one of them. What about the big and small ones?
I am not so sure that Andrax would be drawn to Roland. I have some feeling that it is bad for Roland to show himself, especially. Something my fate is telling me.
Is Estrid saying this?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that one of the dragons is attempting to control the weather to make it impossible to engage them in flight.
that be countered?
Not once it's already cast.
What if another one is cast?
Then it is a battle of wills.
Takes a while to cast, right?
10 minutes, and then it proceeds to change over a long course of time to a significantly different weather pattern.
You said it's humid but not raining, right?
It is raining.
It is
It's
raining.
humid.
Okay.
It's look like they're trying to cast like a
visibility's
tropical
low.
storm.
That I'm thinking about in terms of like them catching buildings on fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see what the weather patterns look like. Because I can do that. June will actually think about it. She goes, oh, wait. She taps herself, and then she spreads her cloak.
You will see a large, localized storm of a significant, almost hurricane-esque pattern is beginning to build
I
in
can
the
tell
area.
you right now, going out on the boat would be a suicide mission.
Yes, I can tell that too.
Zarafan, looking down, is going to say, they're attempting to make it so that only they will be large enough to fly. They're nullifying the Drake Guard, he says.
So what do we have that would get their attention enough to lure them to us?
I believe that they're here for something, Estrid says. Potentially me, maybe you.
Are you suggesting we put you two on land and let them come?
Everyone, like all of the Queen's people are going to be like, what? No.
Even June kind of looks at you like, oh, that's a horrible plan. Don't do that.
Hero's going to like he also looks up. She goes, I'm afraid that I'm not quite used to being used as bait, she says.
That's fair.
I believe that it is time for me to go to the fortress.
June agrees. 40 other crazy ideas pop up about her getting,
Tell me when they reach the fourth ley line, and I will go to the fortress then. They should be too far away to notice. If any of you wish to move or leave the city, it may be time to do so then.
June turns to Zarafan and says, do you think I can counter the weather? Do you think it would work? He knows what I'm asking. I assume you do, too, but I don't know.
I'm not sure how the dragons would know that we're in the city, he says. But I bet they would then know that there's a powerful caster in the city if somebody did try to counter her magic.
She's debating whether or not that's a bad thing.
While the tropical storm would certainly have its disadvantages, the dragons couldn't fly easily in that kind of pattern, making it impossible for them to do run-bys. If they are unable to take out the Drake Guard, they may occupy them by burning half the city down.
Also true.
If they do wave strikes with fire,
Well, at least the rain will help to keep fire in check.
I'm beginning to feel like Estrid might be correct. I feel like these dragons know something that we don't.
I was pretty sure that was the case for a while now.
June, roll an intelligence check.
Am I aided by anything?
No.
Okay, give me a second to figure out what the hell happened to my dice.
I have an idea while she's rolling. How long can you steal something for?
10 minutes.
Dang it. I was gonna say you could.
Unless they don't want it back, in which case I get to keep it.
17.
17? Okay.
Wanna bless me?
Too late now. Daniel won't let me. I'm trying to not power game and be like, guidance, guidance, guidance on like every roll.
You cannot help but wonder if this was what Satan meant.
I was kind of leaning towards that, and I was hoping I was wrong.
If Satan sent that note with some kind of insight that you didn't possess, it could potentially mean that these red dragons are here to pick a fight.
With me?
Not with Bridgewalk at all.
With us?
No,
Oh.
with Krator.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Bridgewalk is fairly far, but not too far from the forest, that Krator would be unwilling to leave his territory, potentially.
Doesn't have territory.
Krator.
Oh, wrong Krator. Sorry, wrong dragon. Wrong dragon. See, the problem with Krator and Kazor is they just sound so freaking similar. I do it all the time. It's
But
like Alkin Finn versus whatever the heck that guy's name is.
there would have to be something more, though. Krator, there is a small chance that Krator cares about Bridgewalk, but not enough to willingly leave unless Bridgewalk is literally like just ash. Like, there's a very good chance that Krator would just ignore it.
So there's a secondary reason.
Did he send that tonight? Like, Pozic said that the contract said that he sent it tonight, correct?
Correct, yes.
June will turn to Rafe and go, he rarely does anything without meaning.
What are you thinking?
The letter I got. The first one. What?
The mic.
Oh.
You're whispering.
I am sorry. She goes,
She goes,
No, she does not go, She goes, the letter I got. The first one.
What about it?
He's got something to do with this.
I'm not sure Krator would engage with these red dragons.
I don't know how, I don't know why, but he has something to do with it. He wouldn't have sent it when he did.
So we need a reason why Krator would engage. Can you think of anything?
Can I think of anything?
Roll a DC 24 intelligence check.
Here, have an inspiration token. I don't trust my rolls right now, because clearly all I can roll are 8 and 9s.
Here, I'll. Come on.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
She actually looks at Isaac and says, Isaac, I could use a little bit of divine guidance, if you don't mind.
Dang it, I don't have my guidance card out. Would it be
D4,
guidance or bless
right?
that would help here? Yeah, we'll do guidance. I think it's a D4.
It is.
Do you like to roll it or you want me to?
You can roll it. Because my D4 is not out right now.
Nice. And you said it was an intelligence check?
Yeah.
So 24, 25, 26. Yay!
hey.
Damn. That was crazy as hell. All right.
Thank you, sir.
That's
That
2
dice
extra
up, yeah.
points.
As you look down at the 2 notes in front of you,
And she isn't looking down, she's just remembering them.
Okay.
She wouldn't get that out.
Photographic memory.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
very helpful in situations like this.
you look down. War, dragons, stone wolf, dead. Krator has to choose a new stone wolf. He's going to send out messengers, his children, to find a new stone wolf. They're going to come to all the major cities. Kazor would know this. He sent his kids to kill the messenger, one of Krator's children.
Okay, yeah, and that'll definitely draw him out. June's eyes widen and she goes. She grabs the other note and she goes, I take it back, it was relevant. The Stone Wolf is dead, which means that Krator has sent out his messengers, his children, to find a new one. He's waiting for the messengers.
The stone wolf is dead? Zarafan says.
That was loud enough for the whole room to hear that, yes.
Hero goes, wait, how? Brightsock was attacked?
Yes. Ace wiped it out, the end. Harper is currently in Oak Edge.
Roland leaves the room.
Now Faylene and Redna too.
Queen Estrid, when you receive dragons who come from Krator, where do they land? The center of the city, she says. On the merchant island. They're waiting for that child to arrive. Red says.
If anything happens to that child, it will instigate war between them.
Let's head there now. We can set up shop for when he arrives, and we'll be ready for the dragons. That's where they'll attack. You guys arrive early. With Juniper's intelligence check, you know where the dragons are going to land.
Yay, blessing.
So out of game question.
Our
These
guidance.
messengers you keep mentioning, these are different from the usual messengers, right?
These are
Yes.
Krator's children.
Okay.
His closest dragon kin that he cherishes.
And he'll send them out to do stuff.
They will grade druidic aptitude in the populations of major cities to try to find the most powerful druid to take the mantle of the Stone Wolf on.
Okay.
Sarah, if you would not mind turning a lens on this lovely battlefield that we've got going on here.
I might. Depends on if I can wake this baby up.
So, with Juniper's intelligence roll and your unique advantage at this moment, you guys are able to set up on the battlefield. Additionally, you will gain an option. What would have been a city benefit, a run-by with bombing squadrons of drakes that would have taken place late in the battle. You will now receive that at the beginning of the battle, rather than anywhere else. So you get more help from the city innately. Yes.
Did Prongor ever get back to us?
He did, yes.
Okay.
Pongor has returned.
Does she have any updates on where her crew are? Are they in the Adamantine Fortress or where?
Well, Dom is with you.
He's joined us. Okay.
Bali is also
Yes.
with you. But Dom was down sort of discussing the historical aspect with a bunch of nobles who were downstairs and sort of in hiding. Dom got whisked off with like the meek and stuff because they were like, "Oh, it's an old man. Let's help him out." And then he's been kind of like chatting those people up with his charismatic self. But
And-
he will come up.
So dragons are resistant to like any illusion magic or anything like that?
They're not.
They're not resistant to
They're
it?
resistant to magic you would cast on them.
Well, then couldn't
They're
we
not
just...
really resistant. They
Or they dispel it, or they counter it.
they can counter it.
Yeah.
The thing I was saying was their legendary resistances.
I guess I was just asking because I didn't know if you're able to create like an illusion of that other dragon or something to draw them off.
I don't know what they look like.
That's fair, I guess.
All right. So go ahead and you guys can choose to set up your minis wherever you would like to on the board before the battle begins.
So what's
Do we-
considered the center of the city, where the messenger will be arriving?
That four-way
Okay.
is where the dragons usually land if they're coming in from the forest. Historically.
And that's the only gargoyle on the field?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the only gargoyle on the field. Additionally, because you were able to do that, you now have the time to think for a moment. Isaac. Queen Estrid, before the ley lines were cut, asked to draw a well of power down below the city, basically like making a pool of magic below the city that you could get a couple of shots off of.
Yeah.
But she can't just turn the gargoyles on because all of them will shoot basically a lot of missed shots. So it wouldn't really do very much damage. But if somebody were to
Operate.
integrally guide the gargoyle's eyes, they could potentially shoot some very powerful lasers at the dragons using a gargoyle with a particularly special fate.
How much?
2 to control
2
a
inch.
gargoyle.
Okay. Just like anything else. I think my limit's 7. So Isaac is going to plant the oaken bolter up here.
I was thinking you do that.
Prongor is going to pack up Phalor, and then he's going to animate 3 gargoyles.
So there's only one. You can only animate one.
Oh, dang it. Okay. He'll animate that one. He'll put away the winged thrall.
All the other ones have very bad shots because you're on an island.
Yeah.
Sarah, can you highlight where he put his oaken bolter up there on the top of the house?
Make it easier to see. We'll put it. Ah. There we go.
All right, there we go.
I think I'm focused on it.
He's going to keep the bolter animated, and then the gargoyle, and then Phalor's going to be put away for the moment.
Okay, got it.
I think the bolter's 5.
There. Right there.
And where is Prongor on the battlefield?
He is next to Isaac, yeah.
Okay. Where are the two of you?
We are going to be... They're going to touch down there. I would ask that you all place yourselves first, and then I place myself last, because I'm kind of more of a support unit than the rest of you.
All right. Yuffie, because of your extra time, you can get any number of your crew to come to the location as well, if you want.
God, I mean, she really doesn't want to risk the lives of her crew against dragons, but
I get you.
yeah.
Those are some powerful dragons there.
Unfortunately, the island is too large to allow a cannon shot up on the top of the plateau. So your ship will be useless.
Okay.
You don't have to involve them. You don't want to.
Correct.
I really don't want to. But she'd ask Johnny if she wanted to join the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, figured she would. Yep. So, Johnny will come along.
Hey.
Would Dom want to come along on that?
Dom will pass.
Yeah.
He says, dragon slaying is a young man's game.
She'll raise her eyebrow at the man.
You would.
Yep, she would. And I'm assuming Bali is in.
Yes.
But
Of course she is.
Too
Okay,
old for
so
dragons,
it's just the
but not
three of
too
us
old for
then who
giant
would join.
whales.
Yeah. Well, giant whales.
Um,
Treasure.
And Estrid is going to sort of like lean over towards Euphemia when she's talking to Bali and say, your Kenku crewmate is attempting to jump on a drake. Shall I stop him?
Yes, she says.
She nods.
If you could keep him somewhere safe. Please.
It'll be done. All right. Place Bali, Jania, and Euphemia.
So they're gonna land here.
Another factoid that is discovered in the time frame that you have. The dragons are wearing what are called siege bands on their legs. Siege bands are meant to stop foot soldiers. They're basically like giant titanium cuffs that go around their hands like gloves and up their arms so that a normal man like whacking them hits the metal.
Are they on their feet as well, or just their arms?
Yes, their feet, and it goes about halfway up their arm.
How high would you have to climb to get a good...
They're also wearing titanium plates on their backs to prevent bombardment from above. There's only one spot you can hit them from, and it's the middle. You need to climb... The spot you would need to hit them from is about halfway up these buildings.
Does Yuffie need to be in a building?
Well, the idea that Phaline suggests is that you climb up to the top of the buildings and then you leap on them.
That's what I mean.
That's what
That's
I was
what I
planning
mean.
on putting rolling right there.
Yep.
It's a wild, crazy ride that
Yes.
only the most skilled and agile or insane could possibly complete.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. You fair.
I thought you raised your hand.
You are.
Me.
Insane.
I mean,
I'm
how
not
many
that
little
person.
places? I want to be.
Dude, there's a really cool spot right here.
Oh
I will
yeah,
say
it's a
that.
platform there.
Yeah.
It's got
too
little.
bad this is in the
It's got
way.
little steps right here, but you can always.
Could they jump from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So
All right.
Can you
So
aim
can
the
you
camera?
Who do you?
Sarah.
put these two?
Or just give me the camera. I want to.
I will happily
This
give
little
you this.
this little
because
step thing over here
I'm
is
having
so
some
cool.
issues at the moment, so go for it.
All
I
right,
seem
so
to
another option for you all
misplace some cards.
is the oaken bolter can shoot like a harpoon with a rope attached, and if you want to like hold onto the rope,
We could slide down it.
If
Like,
the bolter lands
to-
the shot, then you now have like something lodged into the dragon with a rope attached, and you guys could like climb up it or something.
That would be spectacular.
This is the sickest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Or in your case, it would
Yeah.
probably take off, and if you're holding
Well-
on, you would just like fly off into the air.
So
with it.
is the trajectory enough that they could do it from there, or would she
It's-
need to be over
They
here?
could.
its
If,
range is like 400 feet. So
I was gonna say if the bolter is able to hit one around here, you guys could always jump out to the rope and catch and slide down
Okay.
from there.
And then I'm not sure if Janya, how good she'd be about. So she can't attack it though from the ground at all, right? Janya?
So
How fast is
you
Janya?
can attack from the ground, but damage is reduced by 20.
Okay, no.
How fast is Janya though?
is that the effect
30
of
feet.
the bands?
Yes.
Because she could run like distractions.
That's what I was wondering if we needed a distraction.
Or she could help people if they're injured.
She wants to hit things.
Yeah.
So-
Place hero
Well,
on
wait.
the thatched building.
There's the smaller dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
The smaller dragon will probably be short enough to be able to be attacked.
Can she whack the smaller dragon?
Zarafan
This just has
suggests
a horse,
that
you said.
a dragon that size is going to use its stealth, so it will likely climb the rooftops and attack down. It will not land on the ground, as it were. The other
So
ones
we
will
all need to
crush
be on the
buildings if they
roofs.
land on them, so they won't
Whoa.
land.
I don't care where she goes. So, roofs
gonna say,
mostly.
She could
Jania
still-
is going to place herself between those two walls down there, sort of in a little area where she can run out.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
that's what I
attack.
was. I was thinking she should be somewhere hiding
Ground
where she
support.
can just run in and attack something.
And then
that
run away.
She can't. Yeah, and then go
Uh,
hide again.
Can you get Heroes Mini
Yes.
and place
Where's-
him on the thatched stairwell on Jamie's side? That one. Yeah, he wants to be watching that direction
Up here or down here?
up there. Yeah, right there. I was gonna put him in the ship, but then he can't get down very easily.
He's short.
If anybody
He's so
moves
short.
hero, please be very careful. It's kind of precariously
I
balanced.
see that.
Does it have an internal? Oh, I never filled it with. That's why it's slippery.
All right.
Still a washer.
Yeah,
Go ahead and start shadow beneath the shade of that tree there.
Where does Zarafan wish to be?
Zarafan is going to start. I believe he's going to try to start on this stairwell, the inn stairwell here on the opposite side of this house from you, Sarah.
Wait, over here.
Like right here, between the wall and that, so that he can
Clearly
run
need to
along
paint
the
a
wall
smaller
and
version
like
of
jump.
He can balance there.
You do need a smaller version. Yeah.
Of Zarafan? Yeah.
Right by the gargoyle.
Just behind the gargoyle.
All right, Roland, where are you starting? With shadow?
Nope.
There's no stairs down.
He's
Just
planning
gonna
to jump.
You think I'm using the stairs?
I was so dumb, so foolish the whole time.
I'm gonna put Phalina on this one.
All right,
And then I've got Red hiding behind this wall.
works totally fine. Yeah, that's great. All right, has anybody not put their minis out?
Yes, me. Okay.
Is this guy somebody or is he just a guard?
He,
stop
that guard is a personal mercenary for the inn. He's actually going to get out of the area if you guys arrive early.
Okay.
He was going to get caught in the combat if you guys ran here, but he's
Interesting.
getting the hell out.
That's good.
Good call.
Give him his mini.
Can I have I think
What were you
it's
asking for?
Tasha's.
I'm just looking at where everyone is. Where's your mini?
Yeah,
okay.
Tasha's in the other room. You need
Me
it?
and Phalina.
Yeah, I'm missing a spell card and I can't find it and I need it.
So if you shoot the
I
oaken
think
boulder
it's in Tasha's. I
here,
could be wrong.
there's a rope attachment that's an option.
Yeah, it's like a harpoon with a rope
Can
attached.
can you only do that once or can you do that more than one time?
I think I can do it every turn, unless Daniel tries to tell me I can't. You see, multi-attack. Every turn I can do 2 bolt attacks or 1 bolt and 1 harpoon attack.
So you could do a harpoon and a bolt attack in the same.
Yeah, so if it hits, the target is grappled.
Yeah, you think it's actually going to be grappled?
No.
sweetie?
No, it's not going to be
No, that rope is just going to be something we can grab that's
Yeah.
that's
I'm
that's
just
hanging.
picturing all of us like holding onto a rope, getting
I don't know
drugged
what time
behind
it
a
is.
dragon right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
As the characters begin to gather in the center of the town square, you can't see the sun begin to rise as the 4 ley lines are cut off from the city. But you do, finally, after a long waiting in a torrential, humid, jungle-like downpour that has arrived thanks to the change weather spell that the ancient dragon cast, you will finally see a brown, stony dragon, a young, appear in the sky just over the little area of town that you are in, out on a narrow plateau in the middle of the bridges of Bridgewalk. And you will see him land and then pull out a small horn and announce his arrival for the city to hear. And we will call the session there for the time being, Noble Heroes, as you see suddenly 3 great monsters rise up out of the northern forest and come to attack. Thank you for joining us, Noble Heroes. We really appreciate it. Do come back and join us next time for the epic conflict, which is sure to take place. And remember, do try this at home. Thank you very much.